Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's a new day and a new airsoft replica to talk to you about, and I was perusing the Hong Kong shops as you do, and picked up two new pistols that I saw. Managed to get them shipped out just before Chinese New Year, so big thanks to WGC for that. They got it out super quick. It got to me super quick. But we're taking a look at this thing today. I knew nothing about it till I saw it on the website, and this is the T8 and Army COLT. Did not say it on the box. I thought it might have said it. But this is the COLT Defender. And this is a very interesting little nugget. We don't really get much in the box. It's just the pistol and the magazine. We of course get a little breakdown of your do's and don'ts and such like that. We've also got a couple of cards in here. These are from T8 and Running Workshop, and then this is your EMG certificate of authenticity to show that it's an actual EMG product. But this is a compact 1911, and it's produced by Army and T8, so they put some nicer parts in there, and brought to us by EMG. And this is a very interesting little sidearm, isn't it? So it's a compact 1911. It's got the purple router as we see on the T8 stuff. It's also got the purple rubber, but it's basically a small 1911. Now I'm oversimplifying that, of course. Those out there that have much better firearms knowledge than I have will know exactly what this is, but I thought it was cool. Now, in terms of, let's get straight down to it. Let's test the materials. So it's going to be like a cast frame and slide here. We do have a steel hammer, and that's pretty much where it ends. It's attracting to the mag release as well. I think that's also steel. None of the other components are. We can quickly pop this open and check. So let's tap the slide release out, if I can get it out there. It's not really, doesn't stick out on the opposite side, so it's a little bit more difficult to push out. So we do have metal components in here as well. So looks like the all the running gear is the valve knocker. Can I get to that? I think that it might be steel as well. Yeah, it is steel. So all the T8 little upgrades that they do. While it's open, we'll take a closer look at the lower. These are polymer, they're not wood, although they do look very convincing from a distance. So not really much to see here. We can move on to the slide. Now it does come with a thread adapter. The one thing that I'm not a massive fan with this thread adapter is that if you decide to remove it, as some people might want to do, it's got a slight extension on the inner barrel. So if you want to run it without this, you will have to put an even shorter inner barrel in, or chop it down, or you just keep the thread adapter on there and you run it like that. I would much prefer them to maybe give us a barrel that has a thread on it. I'm not a massive fan of these adapters because, as you know, like as I'm trying to thread the adapter into the barrel, because they're reverse threads, I'm loosening my my barrel accessory. As I try to screw on my barrel accessory, it's unscrewing the adapter. So I would much rather have preferred them, you know, maybe charging a little bit more and just giving us a full one piece outer barrel here. So let's see if we can get this running gear out. Let's pull the bushing out if I can get my nails in, and then we'll pull out the guide rod and the spring. It's a two-part system, and then this has actually just come loose from the hop here. It is spring loaded. So we pull it out, we've got a spring on the end there. It's a very, very short barrel. So I'm not expecting crazy power out of this thing. But if it can do better than the VFC Strike Industries SIG, the SMP was it, then happy days. So we've got a two-part spring system. This is a very stout spring system. What I mean by that is when you're pulling back the slide, it's got a lot of strength behind it. A few times where I've been, you know, sort of locking the slide back, 'cause I just check over all the guns when they come into me. Pulling the slide back, the slide slipped because this is a very glossy surface, or a very smooth surface. Did that, and I chunked my thumb on this edge here, which is quite sharp on mine. So it was a bit of a finger biter, but let's pop this back in here. Everything here is pretty much run of the mill. You've got your purple rubber there, standard 1911 parts. Let's line this barrel up on here, and we can put the springs and the guide rods back in. Let's line this up here, that goes in. Make sure that these are aligned because it wants to sort of kick out the other way because it is spring loaded. And then we can slide that back together. We line up the little notch as you see here, and we can pop this in. Now this also isn't steel of any kind, so not like the other T8s where it's like a hybrid material where it's steel and cast aluminium. So let's line this up. What I will say is, out the box when I first tried to cock it, it wouldn't move, and it was something to do with this slide release. It can sort of sit in some awkward positions, and I had to like slightly press that for it to unlock the slide. But since then, since I've like freed it up, it hasn't really done it again. So it does have a thin hammer on it, but again, we'd have to worry about that because those are, you know, pre-upgraded with steel parts. We've got a tiny little magazine, very smooth spring on there. See if we can fill this up. If it wants to move, there we go. These aren't quite lining up properly. There we go. Not an easy fill like a high capper. So we're full there. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 rounds roughly. If we really jam in there, it does give us a little bit of movement to get around the nozzle. We're going to put a bit of gas in this. So, you know, small 1911s like this, especially, Army have always suffered a little bit with their 1911s not being very gas efficient, or they always run out of chuff before you can fire a mag off. But we're going to see how it is. It feels really good. It's a very small pistol. Kind of reminds me a bit of the Chisata that we looked at, but a little less, well, a lot less anime than that pistol. And chamber one in. Turn the Corona on. We are using 0.25 gram BBs for this test. And we're going to put a round through the Corona. Did I drop one out the barrel there, or was that just falling off the desk? Yeah, we've still got one chambered. So here we go. 0.772, not bad at all. 0.759. 0.75. Do a couple more. 0.727. So we are starting to decrease, but we're not crazy. You know, we're still not far off from what a lot of pistols will come out at 0.8, 0.9 joules out the box, depending on where they're from. And you've got to remember, you're firing from a very, very small inner barrel, so you're not giving the BB much time to accelerate. But let's shoot this mag off, and then we're going to try some Maru mags in it. So let's give it a go. So we are out of chuff there with a few rounds left. Get a bit more gas in this mag. When I first put a couple of rounds through it, just to test it out of the box, it did finish a mag, but I'm not expecting the world from such a small pistol anyway. But we've got 2 rounds out of it then, and we're empty again. pumping the gas here. Try and get a bit more in. Maybe we've got another pistol with a bit of a dodgy input valve. 3 shots and we're out again. So something weird going on with that mag, because the first time we filled it, it was fine. Maybe it doesn't like propane. Let's try a bit of green gas. It's the same. I was getting more shots out of it yesterday, and it's not cold. So we're going to dry fire it here. Yeah, I don't think it's quite a fan of propane. It was filling. Sometimes we do see it with these replicas where they will work fine on green gas, but as soon as we try and use a bit of propane, they play up a little bit. But there we have it. We can try some different magazines. We've got some Marui M45 mags. Let's put, we'll do these, of course, fill a hell of a lot easier, and of course they will hold more rounds. But will they work in the T8 Colt Defender? They do stick out a bit, which I'm not too bothered about. It gives me a little bit of extra grip space. We'll do a quick chrono and then we'll see if we can get through this mag. 0.647, 0.653, 0.665, 664, 657, 654. So coming out a little bit lower. It might be because these are fully charged, that these mags are taking a hell of a lot more gas. You might be light striking it a little bit, but it could also be it's just maybe not happy a little bit with the Marui mags. But we'll try and get through this mag, shall we? Let's see if we can shoot the whole thing. That one's absolutely fine. So the gun will run on propane because it's only propane in these mags. It was just a little bit iffy with the filling. It could be that Coleman's bottle, to be honest. Sometimes I do get Coleman's bottles that it is a fresh one, it's not a refilled one. Sometimes I do get Coleman's bottles that for some reason don't work as well as others. There is a lot of inconsistency in the tanks. Now, it could also be possible we could exchange these over for Marui valves, but to be honest with you, I've got a bunch of these M45 mags. I think if I was running it, I think I'd just run it with the extended mags and then just keep this one, obviously, when it's not being used. Let's try another mag. Yep, shot that one absolutely fine as well. So, not a problem with the pistol per se, but see if we can get a bit more gas in a small one. That seems now like that's filling. Like that's, I can hear it, it's still going into the magazine. Where before, it'd take a little bit of gas and it would stop going in. So maybe it's just, maybe I was having a hiccup with this and it's got nothing to do with the propellant, but it's got a good bit of recoil to it. Say recoil, blowback action, whatever you want to call it for airsoft, but it's nice and punchy. For a small pistol not having much reciprocating mass on top, it does have some really strong recoil springs. Again, we can take this off, but the barrel sticks out. It's kind of a bummer. That really did. It's the main disappointing thing about it, really. But I picked it up because it's something a little bit different. I'm doing a lot of high capper stuff at the minute, as you guys can see on the channel. So I thought I'd pick up a little nugget of a 1911. It's just one really that's going to go in the collection. It's probably rare that I would take this as a dedicated sidearm to a game, but stranger things have happened. And like I said, if you've got Marui mags, you can whack them in. The armies are based off a Marui system. plenty responsive. It feels pretty much the same on all 3 mags. So there you have it. A COLT Defender from EMG, Army and T8. What do you think about it? We need to get this sticker off. It kind of ruins the aesthetic. But I'm always interested when companies, you know, put out these little nuggets, and that small VFC SIG, the Strike Industries one I had, it looked great. It felt really good in your hands. The grip was really, really nice. But in terms of performance, usually it would shoot 0.3 to 0.4 joules, and I could never get through a mag with it. It was just a very inefficient system, where this is something a little bit more, you know, a little bit more compact, and it actually works. So I have picked up another couple of models, which will be, it's going to take a bit of time to get here because I think they're all closed now until the end of the month for Chinese New Year. So I've picked up a little high capper model. But there you have it, the COLT Defender from EMG, T8 and Army Armament. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to get involved with the EA community, there'll be a link down in the description where you can join the Discord. And thank you very much for tuning into this video. If you want to see more on this, be sure to hit up the comments and let me know about it. If not, I'll consider you satiated and we'll move on to the next one. So thank you as always for sticking around and watching the channel. And from me and Bench, we'll be seeing you in the next one.